Why are you stopping? Go!
That's not a big deal. It'll be fine. Just go.
No, I don't want to go forward because we're going to hit 100,000 miles.
That's not
the end of the vehicle. Now we got to go buy.
I think you're overreacting a little bit.
$36,000.
Just go. It'll be fine.
Trust me, it'll be just fine. What's up, guys? Kerry here from HomesteadHow in the minivan, showing you our latest homestead vehicle. This is a 2005 Chevy Uplander. We purchased this vehicle on Craigslist for $1,350. It's got a little over 100,000 miles on it. One of the first things I looked at before purchasing it was the underside of it, and there's almost no rust on the vehicle at all. After we purchased this from an elderly gentleman that kept excellent records, I later found out, looking closer at the title, it was previously titled in Hawaii, which explains why the lack of rust. So some pretty cool history behind this car. In today's video, I want to talk about the #1 reason we can afford our homestead. And a little hint, it's because of this. So if you're considering becoming a homesteader, but you're thinking there's no way you're going to be able to afford doing it, consider your vehicle situation, how much you're paying for your vehicles. In the 10 years leading up to the purchase of our dream homestead, I estimate that we saved over $70,000 by purchasing used vehicles. Grocery getters, minivans, vehicles that had over 100,000 miles on it that people thought were no longer worthwhile. As our YouTube channel continues to grow, we keep getting comments from people saying, how do you afford your homestead? How do you pay for it? The #1 reason is because we are frugal and we have zero debt. While many of our peers were taking out massive mortgages for their dream home with granite countertops in the nicest neighborhoods, we shopped around, we hunted, we found a cheap fixer-upper, and we put in the work. We fixed our first house up and sold it for a nice profit. And then we repeated the same thing with our second house. We bought a fixer-upper, fixed it up, and then sold that for a nice profit. Our third home is our homestead we're living in now, and that was by far the biggest fixer-upper of them all. So besides our homes, for the 10 years leading up to the purchase of our dream homestead, we only purchased inexpensive, junky cars, grocery getters, and minivans. In this video, I want to share my #1 piece of advice if you want to become a homesteader. And that advice isn't just simply be frugal. It's more about changing your entire lifestyle to do more with less. So if you're considering becoming a homesteader, but you think there's no way you're ever going to be able to afford it, start here with your vehicle. Let's look at why it makes so much more sense to purchase a used vehicle. The estimated average cost of a new car sold in the US is $33,000, plus more when you consider the financing costs. For the cost of that one new car, you could have all of these cars. Plus this car, and this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. 11 cars for the cost of one new car. So we bought this car 8 years ago for $3,400. So let's calculate these numbers quickly. $37,008 divided by $3,400, which is what we paid for our truck. 10.88. Round up, you have 11 trucks for the cost of one new vehicle. So when I hear folks say, I need a reliable car, I have to buy a new one, this is what I think in my head. I could have 11 of my vehicles for one of your new vehicles. Really, how reliable is your vehicle? I could buy 11 of them, and if one of them breaks, I could use another one. I could blow 3 of them up, and I'd still have 7 left. Quick interruption. 3,400 divided by 8 years. That equals $425. Per year divided by 12 equals $35.41 is what we've paid per month that we've owned that vehicle. All right, I know what you're thinking. Okay, wait a minute. There's no way you could get 11 of those vehicles for that price. Well, here's our second vehicle. We purchased this 6 years ago for $1,500 cash. We've crisscrossed the country with it. I know, so now you're thinking, wait a minute. I know you're thinking, where are they getting all these great deals? Well, I'll tell you what, in my experience, any vehicle that's being sold that has over 100,000 miles on it is automatically way cheaper than it should be. There's this mindset that as soon as a car has 100,000 miles on it, it's now worthless. And that's furthest from the truth. Our truck has 330,000 miles on it. Had we trashed it at 100,000 miles, we could have gotten another 100 and another 100 and another 30 beyond that. So we've gotten our vehicles used on Craigslist. We've also purchased them from auctions. There's a great state auction here in Wisconsin where they do them online, and they actually have a mechanic go through and do a sort of an inspection report on them. Over the years, we've bought many, many vehicles, all for cash, all used, all with over 100,000 miles on it. I don't know if it's just us, but family and friends, we've heard them say many times, how many miles do you have on that vehicle? We say 100,000 plus, 200,000, and they go nuts.
Why are you stopping? Go! That's not a big deal. It'll be fine. Just go. No, I don't want to go forward because we're going to hit 100,000 miles. That's not the end of the vehicle. Now we got to go buy. I think you're overreacting a little. $36,000. Just go. It'll be fine. Trust me. It'll be just fine.
All right, so in closing, the number one tip I have if you want to become a homesteader, start saving your money, be frugal, and the best way I think most people can do that is on their vehicle purchases. Like I said, we've saved a lot of money over the years by purchasing inexpensive vehicles. I do want to say though, it's not always a walk in the park. When you do have older vehicles, it requires a lot more maintenance. We do our own brake work, tie rod ends, things like that. Thankfully, with YouTube, we can pretty much do anything ourselves, and that's kind of the homesteading way, but it can be a lot more work having an older car that's going to require maintenance and work. We've had some pretty good luck. Recently, we've had not so great luck. We did purchase one minivan. We paid $1,200 for it. We had it for about 14 months, but the head gasket went on it, started overheating. So that one only lasted us a year, but we only paid $1,200 for it, so that's still just $100 per month, which is far lower than what the average American pays for their new car payment, which could be $500, $600, $700. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Another suggestion too is if you're going to buy a used older car, make sure you look into it before you purchase it. If you know someone that's handy with vehicles, if you're not, bring them with you, have them take a close look at it, check for rust, make sure everything's running okay, maybe have a mechanic check it out first. Another thing to invest in that's gone a long way for us is AAA. It's really inexpensive, and if you're going to have an older vehicle and you go on a lot of road trips, we're always traveling here in our homestead, it's nice to have AAA, and the expense is definitely worthwhile, especially when I'm not paying $500, $600 a month for an expensive car. Pay $1,200, have the car for a year. If it breaks down 8 months later, I can call AAA, they'll tow it right back here for us. So that's my number one suggestion, is take a look at your vehicle situation. Like I said, 10 years leading up to our homestead, we saved over $70,000 by purchasing used vehicles. And that frugal sort of attitude and way of life translated into all of our other purchases as well, and eventually led to us purchasing our dream homestead. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, hit that little notification bell, leave a thumbs up, and have a great day.